the rest of the paragraph, I have a question there regarding the line which says, I saw Muzi giving Kwabini a 38 special firearm and Kani giving Kwabini a 9mm firearm. My question to you, Brigadier, is about the 9mm firearm that was given by Kani to Kwabini. Did you discuss the issue of this firearm with Kwabini in your investigation of this case, or when you were dealing with these witnesses?
My Lord.
Guys, I am not a lawyer, but the question is, did you discuss this with Kwabini? And the answer is evasive and very long. Listen to this. The answer is definitely not for this question.
You will see that this affidavit was disposed last year. Kwabeni's affidavit was obtained in 2020. So Kwabeni came first, and the issues that we discussed with him are contained in his statement. So Constable Zungu's statement of his recollection of what happened on that day came a year later. I mean, almost, 2020 to 2023, 3 years later, my Lord.
So, members, we can just safely say he didn't understand the question. The question was not about Zungu's statement. The question was about him engaging uKwabini ngendaba yespam, but he didn't answer that. So let's just safely say he didn't understand the question, or we can say he was anticipating what MSHOLOLO was gonna ask, and then he ended up giving wrong answer. As he does, he anticipates what the counsel are going to say. Okay, let's continue listening.
Speak to Kwabini first before you receive the statement.
It was investigations, my Lord. After the name came up during the course of the investigations.
Is it also correct that you interviewed the author of the statement in 2019, which is Constable Zongo?
I wouldn't call it an interview, my Lord. I would call it an engagement. As I've said, he came to the National Commissioner's office saying he's got information. That was the initial call about the death of the deceased. Subsequent to that, we met, then it refers to the father. So it was not, I didn't have anything to interview him on. I was more receiving information from him. That's how it was, all the way until we met his father on the 17th of November 2019, my Lord.
In those engagements between yourselves and Constable Zongo, did he mention that he saw Nkani giving Kwabini a 9mm firearm in 2019?
No, my Lord. As I've said earlier, the first engagement was him having gone to the office of the National Commissioner saying he's got information about the death of the deceased. Subsequent to that, I met him. After I met him, my Lord, the name of the father came up. Hence, then there was this endeavor to find the father, which eventually happened on the 17th of November 2019. So the information he was bringing was insofar as what his father told him, and that affidavit was then obtained on the 17th of November 2019, my Lord.
Okay, so in a nutshell, Brigadier, if I'm understanding your answer, when you first met with the Constable Zongo, he never mentioned to you that he saw Nkani giving Kwabini the firearm. Am I correct to understand it like that?
No, it was the issue of the father witnessing a commotion in the homelands, and then where the names of accused 1 and 2 being mentioned as being involved in this matter, my Lord.
And why would Brigadier GININDA not mention what he saw about accused 5 handing off a gun to uKwabini, the cousin, or is it a niece to him? I mean, a nephew. Why didn't he mention that when he was talking about his father? Because he could have added that and make a statement on that. That is the question.
Did you ask Constable Zongo if he reported this matter to the police because he was being pointed out by the firearm by the person whom he was able to identify as Nkazimulo Ntoshi?
My Lord, so when this incident happened, he did phone me then on the 18th to inform me of such, because it was just a day after he brought his father to our office for the obtaining of this father's statement. And I asked him then, my lord, I advised him to go and open a case at the local police station, since he knows the suspects, so that the matter can be investigated. Yes, that's how it went, my lord. And I said, should he have challenges or need further assistance, he can then advise me accordingly.
Do you know if the case, do you know if he eventually opened the case as per your advice?
No, I don't know that, my lord.
Very interesting. Very interesting that you can be threatened with a gun and you don't lay any charges, especially with a person that you can identify. Interesting indeed. And this happens immediately, just a day after you went to the police. How convenient. Now the interesting part is here, where the judge almost fell off his chair when he hears the response from the star witness. Take a look at take a look at the way he moves from his chair and the demeanor on his face. This is so interesting. This is what I called the evidence that nearly let the judge fall off his chair.
Did you interview Constable Zongo, or did you sit in a consultation with Constable Zongo regarding the incident that took place in this case? The information that he wanted to bring forward to you about the suspects and about the commission of the case?
No, like I said, my lord, it happened once. He went to the office of the National Commissioner. That was the first time. We spoke in between, in trying to find out whether he was able to convince his father. So those occasions were a number of times, I can't recall, but they were telephonically. Then when I lost contact of the number that he was using, then I phoned General Shabane, as I've said, my lord, earlier, towards the end of 2019. And then initially the meeting was then arranged for the 12th of November 2019 for us to meet him with Brigadier Firearm. That meeting didn't take place. Then it was then shifted to the 13th of November 2019, where we now met him. So that would have been the second time as a follow-up of the first meeting. Thereafter, the third meeting then took place on the 17th of November, when he brought his father, where the statement was then taken from Absalom Zungu.
In all of your communication, engagement, consultation, interview with Constable Zungu regarding this case, you did not take down any statements from him. Is that correct?
Which part? Because if you look at the statement that Advocate MSHOLOLO referred me to, it was commissioned by me, so I'm not so sure. So to say no statement was taken, the statement was taken from Constable Zungu on the 31st of May 2023, my lord.
I mean, Colonel, before this date, this statement was taken last year. I am saying, when you started communicating with this witness from 2019, and my question is, from that time and on all occasions wherein you interviewed this witness, did you take down the statement from this witness before 11 May 2023, because the trial had already started, I think, by then? Yes or no, Brigadier? Just
My lord, I think I dealt with this part, and I said no, because I did not see the relevance of it. He was telling me about his father, it's a hearsay, he was not there. I couldn't see the relevance of it, and I dealt with this part, I think, when I was under cross-examination by Advocate MSHOLOLO's colleague.
investigation, Brigadier, did you have any encounter with this witness, Mlungisi Edward Shope? Whether it's a meeting or whether it's a formal or informal meeting regarding this statement and the information contained there too?
So, my lord, the answer is yes, but perhaps let's start from here, my lord.
Okay.
The investigating team that was dealing with this matter, my lord, they found no basis back in 2015. So I'll start there and then move to my engagement with Mr. Thorpe.
Where is that? Where is that they found no basis?
You'll find in the diary, my lord, because it was investigated. Remember, it was before
Okay,
my
can
time.
I see that diary?
Well, I'll look for it, and then I'll refer you to it. But it was followed up, my lord, in short.
Okay.
Then second, my lord, fast-tracking to 2015, 2016. This is where now I referred and I testify about this, that I was sent by General Nkomo and then the acting National Commissioner, General Patlane, to go and inform the family that they will be coming to them and give them updates insofar as the progress of the case at the time, but also to assist with whatever that we can do. Now, in that meeting with the family, because I was not the investigating officer, my lord, I did not have this docket, and I did not know that this statement that we just read now was in the docket, as I was not the IO, my lord. So the family brought it to attention when I went. I think there were about 9 members of the subs.
Sorry, when was that?
That was in 2016, my lord. We dealt with that aspect, I think, through...
Don't forget about dealing it before. Just tell me when was
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, my lord, I'm repeating what I've said before, because I placed the statement of Captain Mabuti to say, I think Mr. Ramsipele took me through when we went there, what were the circumstances. I dealt with it. So what I'm saying is, it is here. I'll also find it. It indicates, my statement is there. I was even asked, my lord, as to why did I make the statement, and I said the DPP felt that because there were these allegations that there's a statement by Mr. Thorpe which was seemingly a breakthrough on the case, which was not filed by me, which was not true, we should then address that issue. Subsequent to that, my lord, then I had to make a statement. I dealt with that part. So I'm just going back to say I dealt with it under that context. So when we then went to the Meyiwa's family, my lord, this information from the family side was brought to attention to say, we don't understand why there's difficulty in solving this case, because our son-in-law, this is now Mr. Thorpe, received this information from Mr. Madlala that there were no intruders. The deceased was shot by mistake. We then asked to meet Mr. Thorpe, and that is how now I came face to face with him. Not me alone, me with my colleagues. And then Captain Mabuti, in my presence, my lord, then obtained his statement, saying more or less the same things that have been said here. And I said, when that was followed up, under tremendous difficulty, I even indicated, my lord, previously, I was testifying here, I think under Mr. Ramsipile, that I had to go through Brigadier Modise, who was the investigating officer, because the witness then, Mr. Madlala, was refusing to talk to me, saying, no, we don't know you, who are you? So we had to ask the Brigadier to allow us to convince him to talk to us in trying to establish this aspect. And eventually when he spoke to us, he refuted that aspect. And I moved further, my lord, and said, when then we have taken over this matter now, when I was identified, or rather given this matter to investigate as a lead investigating office, I also confronted him again on this aspect, and he refuted this aspect and said he never said it to Mr. Thorpe. So that's the context that I dealt with this statement, my lord.
Brigadier, amongst the 4 of you as the investigating officers, who was in possession of the police docket of this case 636 that we are dealing with?
It was me, my lord. I was the custodian of it, insofar as the original docket, but the copies were made. I allowed the members right at the beginning to make copies of the entire docket so that each of us can analyze, come back. The intention, my lord, was that when we come back with an understanding as to what transpired on the crime scene, out of that, then, my lord, then an investigation plan then would have been drafted and would have obviously followed, guided by evidence, not anything else. So the original, me as the lead investigating officer, I retained the original docket, and the members were then made copies out of the original, my lord.
Nizwele Bagiti, he had an original docket, and he allowed members to do copies. So now if there is in Solo Zoguti, there is a statement that is not in the docket. Now, Skombaban, who do we look at? Who do we ask questions of that statement? So if we are still here watching, please remember to subscribe if you haven't, like, share and comment, and family, remember to remember not to skip the adverts, because they are contributing to this channel financially. Thank you so much.